Welcome, traveler. You've just arrived in Afghanistan, where mountains breathe and rivers whisper. Before we begin, take a slow breath. Let your shoulders drop. You're listening to Sleep Around the World, a channel that carries you across every country on Earth, one night, one dream at a time. If you enjoy drifting through far-off places, please like this video and subscribe so you'll never miss the next destination. Now, close your eyes. Feel the air thin around us as we step into the highlands of Central Asia. Tonight, we wander through Afghanistan. The light above Kabul is still gray when we begin. Roosters call between the houses. The scent of wood smoke floats in pockets of cold air. Someone is baking naan, flour, fire, and cardamom blending into warmth. You can almost taste it as the first call to prayer glides through the valley, echoing off the stone. We move through narrow streets where shutters lift slowly, one by one, revealing colors that slept through the night. Copper, turquoise, clay. The city exhales. Morning begins. Past the last rooftops, the road turns to gravel. Ahead rise the Hindu Kush, mountains older than memory. Their peaks still wear snow, but the lower slopes glow gold in the rising sun. The engine hums low, then silence takes over. Only the crunch of our boots and the steady breath of the wind remain. It smells of juniper and cold stone. Every gust feels like a story that started long before us and never quite ended. The path narrows to a ribbon hugging the cliff. Below, a river winds like a thread of glass. Children wave from terraces cut into the mountainside, fields of wheat bright as silk. A shepherd guides his flock with soft clicks of the tongue. The bells around the goats shimmer in uneven rhythm. You can hear the echo long after they vanish behind a ridge. The air is thin now. When you breathe, it feels crisp enough to ring inside your chest. We stop beside a spring. Water spills through moss the color of emeralds. Dip your hand in. It's colder than you expect, clear as the sky reflected above. The taste is metallic, ancient. Somewhere higher, a hawk cries once, its sound bending in the wind. Clouds slide over the sun, turning the land silver, then gold again. Nothing rushes here. Even time moves with care. The climb steepens. Dust lifts around our ankles like mist. Each step reveals a new horizon. Ridges folding into blue. Valleys layered with light. At the top, we rest on a flat stone, warm from the sun. From here, you can see everything. Villages scattered like beads. Trails curling into infinity. Listen. No engines. No voices. Only the wind passing through dry grass, whispering in a language without words. Descending, colors shift from gray to rose to copper. We follow the sound of running water until it opens into a broad valley. This is Bamiyan, where cliffs rise like cathedral walls. Even from afar, you can sense the quiet weight of history. The air tastes of dust and fruit. Smoke drifts from small houses, winding toward a sky too wide to measure. Everywhere, life moves at the speed of breath. We cross a wooden bridge. Beneath it, The river slides over stones smooth as glass. Children laugh nearby, splashing water that flashes silver in the sun. A woman waves from the bank. Her scarf blooms red against the earth. You wave back, and she smiles. For a moment, two strangers share the same simple joy of daylight and water. It feels enough, more than enough. At the base of the cliffs, we find the ancient alcoves where the Buddhas once stood. Wind moves through the empty chambers, low and steady, as if the mountains themselves are breathing. Birds nest inside the stone, their wings flickering like thoughts. You tilt your head back until the sky fills your vision. Blue, endless, forgiving. It humbles you, gently. You let the silence fill every space inside. When evening comes, the cliffs burn orange, then fade to violet. Farmers walk home through fields, their shadows long on the dust. Somewhere, a flute begins to play. 5 notes, nothing more, rising and falling like the rhythm of the heart. We lie down in the grass, feeling the earth cool beneath us. Above, the first stars appear. You breathe out slowly. The world is vast and still. The night passes softly. By the time the sky pales again, mist curls through the valley like smoke from a dreaming fire. You stretch, hearing only the hush of the river and the distant bleat of goats. Morning in Bamiyan feels weightless. We shoulder our pack and begin the road that climbs toward Band-e Amir, where water wears the color of the sky itself. The trail winds through gentle slopes scattered with wild thyme. Each step releases its scent, sweet, dry, and sharp all at once. Behind us, the cliffs shrink into the haze. Ahead, the light grows stronger, turning the stones to gold. The air grows cooler again, touched by moisture. Then we hear it, the faint rush of water echoing through rock. We follow the sound until it opens before us in a sudden sweep of blue. 6 lakes lie nested in the plateau, each a different shade: sapphire, turquoise, jade. White cliffs circle them like protective hands. The water is so clear that clouds seem to float beneath its surface. Sit with me at the edge. Feel the breeze. It smells of minerals and distance. The ripples move like slow breathing. Time loosens its grip. Even your thoughts begin to drift, sinking gently into quiet. A fisherman rows past on a narrow wooden boat, the oars whispering against the lake. He waves, then lets the current guide him back toward the shallows. Somewhere far off, the call of a heron threads through the air. The sound lingers, then fades, leaving only silence and the steady rhythm of water. You close your eyes for a moment, and when you open them again, the light has changed, softer now, honey-colored. We eat a simple lunch of bread and dried fruit, sitting on warm stone. Apricot, almond, the faint taste of dust carried by the wind. The cliffs reflect the sun in narrow bands, painting the water with ribbons of fire. When we finally rise, our legs feel light, as if the stillness itself has carried some of our weight. The road west awaits, descending through rolling fields that shimmer in the heat. By late afternoon, the landscape widens into the western plains. The soil turns the color of saffron, and the scent of it follows us, the sharp sweetness of spice drying in open air. This is Herat, the city of poets and wind towers. From afar you can see the minarets catching the light, tall and slender against the horizon. The air hums with faint music, strings and drums blending with the murmur of streets. We wander through narrow alleys paved with worn stone. Market stalls spill color in every direction: indigo cloth, copper bowls, heaps of crimson spice. Merchants greet us with slow smiles, hands over hearts. Someone pours tea into small glasses. Steam curls upward, perfumed with cardamom. You lift it to your lips. The first sip is sweet, the second deeper, the third pure warmth spreading through your chest. The sun lowers behind the domes of the old mosque. Its blue tiles catch the last light, glowing like pieces of the sky. The call to prayer echoes through the bazaar, folding everything into stillness for a moment. Even the pigeons on the roof pause. Then life resumes, gentle as before. Children chase one another past the stalls. Laughter mixes with the sound of distant drums preparing for night. We sit beside the Friday mosque, watching shadows stretch across the courtyard. The marble beneath us still holds the day's heat. A storyteller begins his tale nearby, his voice low and rhythmic. You don't understand every word, yet the cadence itself is hypnotic. It speaks of caravans and lost kings, of love written in dust and preserved by wind. When he finishes, applause rises softly, like rain. Dusk deepens into violet. Lanterns bloom one by one above the street. We follow the glow toward a small restaurant tucked between mud brick walls. The owner greets us with a nod and places before us a dish of Kabuli palau, rice jeweled with raisins and carrots, fragrant with cinnamon and saffron. You take a bite. The flavor is sweet, earthy, and comforting, like warmth remembered from another lifetime. Outside, the city glows softly. Lanterns sway above narrow streets, their light trembling against the stone. The air smells of spice and smoke, a mixture of cumin, rosewater, and the faint trace of charcoal from nearby grills. People move unhurriedly, wrapped in conversation, in laughter, in the rhythm of evening. The day has exhaled. The night begins to breathe. Musicians gather near the square, tuning small drums and a stringed rhubarb. The notes rise like moths circling the light. You can feel them in your chest, a gentle vibration that soothes more than excites. We sit on a low wall listening. Every chord seems to carry the story of the land, its patience, its endurance, its beauty carved through time. A child claps along, offbeat but earnest, and the crowd smiles. After a while, we wander toward the edge of the city, where the road dissolves into sand. The night air is cooler now, threaded with the scent of distant rain. Stars begin to appear, slow and deliberate, one, then another, until the sky becomes a field of quiet fire. We climb into a small truck bound south for Kandahar. The engine hums softly, steady as a heartbeat. You lean your head against the window and watch darkness unfold. The road stretches endlessly. Headlights sweep over shrubs and stone, then vanish again into black. Somewhere in the distance, lightning flashes without sound, a white pulse over the horizon. Inside the cab, the driver plays a lullaby on the radio, an old folk song about travel and return. Even without words, you understand. It is a song about moving forward while carrying home inside you. We stop once at a roadside tea house. A single bulb swings above the door, casting long shadows. Inside, men sip tea and speak in low voices. The walls are painted turquoise, cracked by years of heat and wind. Our host pours us green tea flavored with mint. You cradle the glass between your palms, feeling the heat seep into your fingers. Outside, the desert wind moves like a sigh, endless and patient. Back on the road, the night grows deeper. The stars seem closer here, as if you could reach out and gather them by the handful. The mountains fade behind us, the desert opens in every direction. Occasionally, the headlights catch the eyes of a camel standing motionless among dunes, silent watchers of travelers passing through. The hum of tires on sand becomes hypnotic, a rhythm that eases thought into stillness. When dawn begins, it arrives without color at first, a gray light seeping across the horizon. Then pink, then gold. Kandahar appears slowly, a mirage solidifying into streets and walls. Date palms sway above rooftops. Birds scatter in the new heat. We enter the city as shopkeepers lift their shutters, yawning, smiling, greeting the day. The air smells of dust, sugar, and freshly brewed tea. You feel the weight of sleep tugging, but curiosity keeps you awake. We walk through the morning market. Stacks of melons, baskets of figs, bolts of crimson fabric catch the sun. A man carves patterns into leather sandals, his knife moving with quiet precision. He looks up and nods. You notice how every gesture here feels deliberate, shaped by centuries of practice. Even the way people pour tea or arrange fruit carries an artistry that asks for attention and then rewards it with calm. As midday heat rises, the crowd thins. Shadows retreat under awnings. We sit beneath a canopy, sharing a small bowl of ice mixed with rose syrup and crushed pistachios. It melts slowly, cooling the tongue, coloring the fingertips faintly green. The city hums around us, distant engines, murmured bargaining, a bird calling from the minaret. Everything feels slower than thought, as if time itself has chosen to rest. Later, we leave Kandahar behind. The desert spreads again, this time gentler, more golden. Wind draws ripples across the dunes like the surface of an ocean. Somewhere ahead lies the Wakhan corridor, where the mountains meet the sky and the world narrows to quiet wonder. The road unwinds beneath us. The horizon blurs. All that remains is movement, breath, and the endless comfort of distance. The land begins to lift again, trading dunes for stone. Valleys narrow, rivers run milky with glacier silt, rushing over boulders that shine like wet bone. Yaks graze along the banks, heavy and patient, their tails flicking in slow arcs. The air cools with each turn in the road. You breathe it in and feel your chest widen, as if the horizon is moved inside you. This is the path toward the Wakhan corridor, where Afghanistan stretches like a ribbon between mountains and sky. We pass a village of low stone houses roofed with sod. Prayer flags flutter from wooden poles, their colors faded to gentle pastels by sun and wind. Children run barefoot along a stream, their laughter snagging on rocks and flying into the air like birds. A woman shapes dough on a flatboard outside, then slides it onto a hot stone. The bread rises slowly, blistering in spots, smelling of grain and warmth. She tears a piece and offers it to you. You taste salt, smoke, and kindness. The track climbs to a high meadow. Edelweiss and tiny blue gentians push through moss, defiant and delicate at once. Above us, peaks crowd the sky, fan-shaped faces of snow and ice, striations of rock like pages in an ancient book. The wind here is clean enough to make your eyes water. Listen to it move through the grass, a silk whisper, a paper song. Time thins at this altitude. Your thoughts become simple, clear, unhurried. We follow a caravan trail, etched by centuries of hooves. Somewhere beyond these ridges lies Tajikistan. Farther east, the Pamirs. The corridor itself feels like a breath, held gently between worlds. We stop beside a cairn stacked with flat stones and add one more to the pile. It's a small ceremony, but it anchors us here. When we turn to look back, the valley. Afternoon tilts toward gold. Marmots peep from burrows and scurry for cover. A lammergeier drifts on a dark wing, unhurried as a drifting thought. We cross a wooden bridge that creaks at every step. The water beneath is so cold it smokes in the air, seaming the valley with mist. We walk on in quiet, boots tapping a steady rhythm. The kind of rhythm that turns into calm without you noticing. You feel it, the mind smoothing, the heartbeat syncing with the land. We find a yurt-like guest shelter near a bend in the river. Inside, rugs soften the floor, and a small iron stove ticks faintly with heat. Our hosts pour bowls of salted tea and set out dried cheese and fresh curds. You cradle the bowl, breathing steam that smells faintly of hay. Outside, shadows lengthen across the grass until the ground becomes a quilt of slate and silver. Someone hums a tune with no words. It settles like dust, everywhere at once. Evening arrives in layers. First the ridges grow blue, then the saddle between peaks turns the color of bruised plums. Then the first star shows above the highest tooth of rock. We step outside with a blanket and sit on a flat stone still warm from the day. Crickets begin, thin at first, then many. The river keeps its low, constant murmur. You notice how every sound is round-edged here. Nothing sharp, nothing sudden. It's a world arranged for rest. The Milky Way rises like a soft staircase into the dark. You can see satellites wander slow as thoughts, and meteors pinch the night with brief white threads. When you breathe, you can taste the cold, clean, metallic, alive. In the distance, a dog barks once, twice, then falls silent. Somewhere upriver, a piece of ice calves and rolls. The sound arrives like thunder that forgot how to be loud. We pull the blanket higher and lie back, letting sky replace ceiling. Thoughts come and go like moths against a lantern. You let them pass. You remember the saffron air of Herat, the lanterns in Kabul, the orange cliffs of Bamiyan, the desert lullaby outside Kandahar. All of it knits into a single fabric, coarse and beautiful, full of breath and light. We don't need to hold any of it. The country holds us instead. The body loosens, the jaw unclenches, the shoulders fade into the ground. You are heavy, then weightless, then simply here. When sleep begins to gather, we give it our full permission. The river will keep watch. The mountains will keep shape. The wind will keep reading the old lines traced in grass and stone. If you wake, you'll hear the same sounds, see the same stars, feel the same blanket of cool air fold over you again and again. This is how the night cares for travelers, by repeating itself until even the heart forgets to hurry. Breathe in, breathe out, drift. Morning filters through thin clouds, pale and silver. Frost rims the grass, sparkling before it melts. We shoulder our pack and begin the descent. Each step brings a softer sound. The crunch of frozen earth giving way to soil. The hiss of wind easing into breath. You can smell wood smoke long before you see it. Somewhere below, breakfast is waiting. At a riverside camp, our hosts knead dough and press it flat between warm stones. The bread puffs slightly, browning at the edges. A kettle steams nearby. The scent of black tea and crushed cardamom rolls through the air. They pour it into chipped enamel cups. You wrap your hands around yours. The heat seeps into your skin, chasing away the chill. Outside, sunlight creeps down the cliffs like spilled gold. We eat slowly. Bread dipped in honey, dried apricots softened in tea. The flavors are simple, but complete. When we stand to leave, our hosts insist on one more pour. Hospitality here is measured not in words, but in warmth. You bow slightly. They smile. The sound of laughter carries, even after we've rounded the first bend of the trail. By midday, the river broadens into quiet pools. Reflections of sky and cloud drift beside us. A herd of yaks crosses ahead, their bells clinking like wind chimes. We stop to watch them ford the water, tails swaying, coats streaming with light. Every movement is unhurried. You feel your own heartbeat slow to match their pace. The land teaches patience simply by existing. In the afternoon, we reach a small town tucked between hills. Children chase kites along the main street. The paper wings snap and flutter above power lines. Shops sell almonds, raisins, blocks of dark sugar stacked like bricks. A radio plays somewhere. A love song from decades ago, its melody half swallowed by wind. The world feels both ancient and familiar. You realize that traveling is not about distance, but attention. We stop at a cafe whose door jingles softly when it opens. Inside, the light is amber, filtered through curtains dyed with saffron. The owner sets before us bowls of sheer kurma, milk pudding laced with dates and pistachios. Steam fogs the glass. You take a spoonful. It tastes of celebration and homecoming at once. Outside, dusk gathers behind the mountains. The air cools, carrying the scent of baked bread and rain. As darkness deepens, lanterns bloom along the street. People move quietly, their voices low, the day closing like a slow-turning page. We walk to the edge of town, where the lights thin and the sky opens again. Crickets begin their steady song. Far off, the river glints like a thread of mercury. You spread your blanket on the earth and lie back. The ground is cool. The air is velvet. The stars return, patient, infinite. You can trace the faint path we followed. Kabul's dawn, Bamiyan's cliffs, Herat's saffron air, Kandahar's sands, and these final peaks that brush eternity. Each memory glows briefly, then folds into the dark. The body feels heavy, the mind light. Somewhere nearby, a dog sighs in its sleep. Everything alive is resting. If you listen carefully, you'll hear the heartbeat of the land. Wind through grass, water under stone, the low hum that exists even when nothing moves. Let that sound become your breath. Inhale with the hills, exhale with the river. The rhythm will hold you until morning. Nothing more is required. You have arrived. You are safe. You are home for the night. When this recording loops, let it continue. The same stars, the same river, the same steady voice will wait for you. Afghanistan will still be here, breathing slowly beneath an endless sky. Drift with it as long as you wish. Dream gently, traveler. Tomorrow, another country awaits. The night is quiet now. Only the rhythm of your breath remains. You've just wandered through Afghanistan, following its winds, its people, its quiet wonders. Let the images linger. Mountains, rivers, voices fading into starlight. You don't have to hold them. Just let them drift, the way clouds drift across a sleeping sky. As you rest, remember, every night there's another place waiting. Tomorrow we'll travel again, somewhere new, somewhere gentle. Maybe the deserts of Morocco, maybe the forests of Japan, maybe somewhere you've never dreamed of yet. For now, breathe easy. You've arrived. If this journey helped you sleep or brought you peace, please like this video and subscribe to Sleep Around the World. It's the easiest way to join these travels, to wander across every country on earth, one dream at a time. Each night, a new horizon. Each dawn, a calm heart. And always, a place for you to rest. Now, let the sound fade. Let the air grow still. Your heartbeat slows. Your thoughts dissolve. The stars above Afghanistan will keep shining, even while you sleep. When you wake, a new day and a new destination will be waiting. Good night, traveler, and sweet dreams from sleep around the world.